no drama, we got it. If you like sports, yeah, we got it. You like politics, promise we got it. Report everything hot at this college. PG News, yeah, right off the press. Reporters and filmers, PG got the best. Information that you need is reported. Make sure y'all tune in for what's happening next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to PGCC Perspective, where we speak about everything political, platonic, and problematic. My name is Aniya, and I have my co-host with me today,
Priscilla.
And today we're going to be talking about a topic that is pretty commonly spoken about, especially with the rise of its integration into society. Today we're going to be talking about ChatGPT/AI in a way. And we're honestly just going to have a small discussion of the pros, the cons, and just what AI really is present day and what's evolving to become.
Yes. And, we're also going to be looking at, questions about the decline in critical thinking skills, how the usage of AI or different artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT affects our environment, how it is being integrated into our academic system, everything that you guys might have questions about, or, just topics that are being talked about with this whole topic.
I agree. And honestly, just go right into it with the first point. I actually have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
So do you think that, well, you kind of answered this question, but do you think that ChatGPT/AI in general kind of leads to sort of a literary crisis?
Yes and no.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yes and no. Yes, because I think it definitely is contributing to a lot of loss when it comes to critical thinking skills, motor skills in general. I think people have become too dependent on, let's say, something like ChatGPT or, Gemini or all these AI tools, right? And no, because this might be a little controversial. No, because I think the no is more subjective. I don't know if I'm yes.
What do you mean by subjective?
It's depends on how you look at it as an individual.
Okay, how do you look at it?
I see AI as a tool.
Okay.
Right?
Why is that?
Because it is a tool. That's what it is.
Okay.
It's a tool for you, and depending on how you use it, you can either choose to overuse it and allow your critical thinking skills to deteriorate over time, or you can use it in a way, like as a tool. You can use it, in a way to help you just structure different parts of your life as a person, but not relying on it too much. Because at the end of the day, there's so many things that we use in our life that aren't AI, that are also tools. And you can be overly dependent on them because of the way you choose to use that tool. Do you understand? So it's like, of course, it's, very detrimental because some people in society are not using it in a right way. They are choosing to not use their thinking skills at all because AI is so accessible to them. So, the first thing, what's the weather today? Like,
it's
you have
really
the weather
hot.
app, but ChatGPT, what's 2 + 2? I don't know. Just something so easy that you can do yourself. You don't even think about thinking about it yourself. You just move to AI. Or you just move to ChatGPT because it's so accessible and it's just right there. I just add ChatGPT. But have you even sat down to think about what it is that you're supposed to be doing? So at the end of the day, it's a tool. Of course, it has it's very detrimental, like, to society, but it also depends on how you use it as an individual.
And see, okay, so what my opinion is, I feel more strongly about your negative side than positive side. I do agree it's a tool. I do agree you can use it in a certain way.
Yes.
But I feel like people don't. Like, I feel like hypothetically, yes, you can use it in such and such way. And I feel like a lot of people, like, around our age and older know how to do that because we grew up in an era where we grew up, like, kind of in the transition area. Like, we still were using, like, we transitioned from, like, the projector to the Chromebooks, like things like that. But we still learn the foundations of writing. We learn the foundations of thinking. We learn the foundation of critical thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
From my perspective, it's a thing of, like, while I can say yes, our age group and maybe slightly younger than us have the ability, and not exactly.
I wouldn't say younger.
I'm it's a little tethered,
after 2000,
maybe like 7. You say 6?
After 2006, really.
There's probably a couple people in 1990s, 2000s listening, like, oh my god. But my point is, though, I do feel like our age group and higher can understand how to use it as a tool and see it as a tool. But then from my perspective, I'm thinking about the kids. I'm thinking about the kids who are born into this overconsumption of technology, and they in a way are born into AI, like how we were born in social media, how we were born in the phones, like, and now the way of life currently is phones, and I feel like it's going to slowly start to transition into AI. And that's why while like I keep saying, I do agree with the tool point, I do agree that it can be used as one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a thing where people are going to use it as their brain, as their crutch. Not really as their brain, but as their crutch.
Yeah. So what I was, I completely agree with you. People, it's not, so that's what I was saying, like with the whole critical thinking skills, like yes and no. And I think in a way, what you're saying is also supporting my no in a way. In a way, because, like you're saying, they're being born like say generations. But,
like clothes,
born after, let's say class of 2024, even class of 2024, if for like
I'm
high
say
school,
some of us still like,
still
we're like that I'm about to say, like, we're like that transition year,
yes,
kind of.
yeah. So it was like they have no choice. That's what they've been born into, or that's what they're seeing now growing up as a society. So of course that's what they're gonna do. But
I was about to ask a question. So do you think that, like, so how when we were younger, we grew up in those classes where they taught us like how to use certain like technological tools? I think they could benefit from this. Do you think the younger generation could benefit from more in-depth classes about AI from a younger age, and how to like use it as a tool and not as a
yeah. So recently I actually did this course. It was on ethics of AI. And I thought it was very interesting because it just teaches you how AI as a tool can be used to even help you achieve more thinking skills. Like it can be used in so many good ways, but I feel like people just it's just so easy, and it's just there, and
it's like it's like the shortcut, and people like easy, which isn't bad, but people like easy, they like the shortcut.
When it was so funny that you say people like easy. I recently heard this quote, I don't know from where, it might have been from TikTok, but it was like anything, because ChatGPT, like if you're using it on a regular, it's free unless you want to pay for
you pay for like the premium and all that.
This quote was like, if something you're using in this society, if it's free, then you're the product. So the people that
keep going.
we're using it, or it's being used in this society, you're the product. It's like training your mind to depend on it.
Exactly.
So then it's gonna come to a time where, sorry guys, we're not making it free anymore, you're gonna have to pay for it,
and people are going to pay for it
because you depend on it. So it's like you have to think step away from it, from like even just like regular day to day, and think about it on more of a higher socioeconomic standpoint too, because you are the product.
Exactly.
So nothing is really free. You're exchanging your critical thinking skills,
your personal information
for easy.
Exactly. And honestly, that's how it's right into like another point that I wanted to kind of go over, is like the environmental issue, because the data centers that are getting built to support this AI, the amount of water, clean water at that takes in order for AI to even function, that, like you said, we're the product, our livelihoods are the product. Like this way of easy, this way of shortcut, directly impacts our lives. And directly impacts our lives beyond even just like clicking for an answer, clicking on the computer. It's crazy to me.
And I heard that they were recently thinking about building one of these centers here in Maryland, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people are trying to block it.
It's just crazy too, because this is such a like diversified state.
Exactly.
And it's like this is so much deeper. It goes all the way back to even before society as we know it now, when it's just like so much deeper, like when they were I recently saw this video yesterday of when they were thinking about building the airport, what is it, in Baltimore. They built BWI on the land of Black people. So it's like they're like taking away land from
that was
them.
Dulles.
Oh, was it?
I think I know what you're talking about. I think that was Dulles.
Guys,
no,
information is so much.
I'm getting
you saw
on TikTok?
Yeah,
I know exactly. Yeah, that was Dulles.
Yeah,
they built on top of a Black community.
Yes,
but it's stuff like that. You're building these things that are not overly beneficial for. I mean, an airport is beneficial. But you don't have to. You don't have to kick out people. You don't have to disrupt a community. For something such as that, you could have found another plot. You could have found an abandoned plot, but instead you chose, or a building that was run down. But instead you chose a functioning at that Black
functioning community too. And like we have to think about it. Like, how is this going to affect us? Not even just as a society, but as students too.
Exactly.
In our in this day and age, like how is this going to affect us coming to school, going back home,
Mhm.
you know, the prices of things, you know, water. Like, everybody needs water.
Exactly.
But, you know, the water is being channeled to something else.
Exactly. It's not being like we're losing clean water,
Yes.
which we're already been losing before that,
Yeah.
just to in order to supply this thing that's not overly beneficiary for us.
Exactly.
And to
Yeah.
go back to your point about how it's affecting schools,
Mhm.
I know we were talking a bit earlier. I know you mentioned how it's affecting schoolwork because the teachers are trying to check for AI.
Yeah,
but
and they're using AI
Yep.
to check for AI, and that's the thing. I've been seeing a lot of people complaining about how they're so scared to actually, let's say for an essay, for example, fully write an essay with, you know, all their, like, I don't want to say all their might, but like
all their own thoughts.
like, you know, critical thinking
Mhm.
skills. Just write a perfect essay without AI, and then just to turn it in and just be like, oh, this is AI. Just
Exactly.
because that's what the computer
Just because
says.
what the computer said, but
Like, as
but
a
it's
teacher,
not.
have you like sat down
Actually,
to read
mhm.
through and, like, you know, so it's just like, okay, students are depending on it, but teachers are also starting to depend on it
it
too.
also kind of causes a sense, not really, I don't really want to use the word imposter, but I can't really think of a better word right now, but just a way of like, there are people, not saying like there are people who know how to write to an extreme caliber, so much to the point where it may look like AI, but it really was them writing straight from their thoughts.
Exactly.
So when you use an AI checker, it might potentially show up as AI, or it might potentially show up as like, this doesn't really sound like a human writing this.
Yeah.
But some people really are just that excellent to that caliber.
So now, like, that brings me to a question, like, what is the standard for plagiarism now, or what's the standard
like,
for, let's say, quote unquote,
you don't know
cheating
now? Because back then it's like, okay, if this student and this student sound almost exactly the same, I know somebody's cheating. If this student or this student's test look almost identical, I know somebody's cheating, unless it's like the test was easy. But you know, like, I know these people are cheating and they sit right next to each other, I know you're cheating. But now it's like you're trying to submit even an essay, and I know I keep bringing up writing, but that's really just like the main
core argument that's being brought up in every single, you know, argument that people are having about this. So.
Exactly. Like, you could be submitting a regular essay that you think you did really good on, but then your teacher puts in this AI, and you're like, it wasn't AI though, and now it's like, okay, now it's a machine against you.
So then now it comes to the point of students having to dumb themselves down.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
And that's also, you know,
attacking the literary crisis.
Exactly.
It's the literary crisis.
So it's like, so it just goes from, oh, using AI to do this. Oh, but if you don't use AI to do this and you're accused of doing this, then, so it just all boils down to, like, how is this really affecting us as students?
It's unfairly affecting us, honestly. It's unfairly affecting us.
It is, because can we ever win?
No.
Can we ever win?
Thankfully there are a lot of professors who understand what we're talking about, so they'll probably like recheck, or they'll read it themselves, or just compare it themselves, so they can actually see like if this is really AI or not. But then you got other professors who kind of just go off the machine says, because they automatically think, which also can be true, but they automatically think that, oh, okay, you're using AI, like there's no question.
So
and it's just
let us know what you guys think, because we think this is a very interesting piece.
And oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Okay, and this brings me to at least my final point. I don't know if you have any more, but this is mine.
Yes, I think. Okay, after this one point, I think there's one that we really need to look into. Yes.
Okay,
but
so
after
I'll say this one because it's kind of going like with the flow what we're talking about right now. My last point was really talking about how I think ChatGPT or AI in general kind of increases the oversaturation and consumption of technology, because like we kind of mentioned way earlier, we were talking about how people are now around technology way more than even when we were younger. And again, I think people kind of use it, like I kind of stated earlier, as a crutch rather than a help kind of way. So.
And I think you guys should definitely look out for our next episode, because what it's gonna lead us.
I know what you're about to say. Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, because there's so much technology in the faces of, you know, all these people, like this generation growing up, or even our generation, like, you know, it's just like we've just become so people don't know how to socialize anymore.
Exactly.
But I'm gonna put a full stop on that. You guys need to check out our next episode, because we're definitely gonna go more in depth into that, very in depth into that one. But yeah, I think that is very, very true. Like, there's technology everywhere. It's so accessible. Like, hey Alexa, turn on the light. But can you get up and turn on the light?
Exactly.
But then it makes you feel like a hypocrite, because like everyone's doing the same thing. Like, I tell Alexa, turn on the light, Alexa, but like then it brings you up to a place of thinking, like, how can I take a step to fix this as a person? You know, acknowledging that, oh, this is, you know, where I'm like, I have fault at. I don't need to depend on technology this much.
Like, some stuff is just like, it's helpful, but it's not needed. And it kind of also in a way handicaps you. Like how we
Yeah.
keep bringing up AI, like it kind of
Mhm.
handicaps you in terms of your critical thinking.
Yeah.
With Alexa, like I mean, it's something small, but like that little extra couple
Yeah,
steps.
but
Maybe
it
you need
always
'em,
starts with something small. Like
exactly.
ChatGPT started small,
But I
and
think
like
that's why
look.
it works so well, because it gradually gets into your face. I think that with AI, the difference was I think they put it in our face too fast, and I think people kind of caught on to that. But with a lot of other things, they kind of like slowly led up to it. Slowly
okay.
was like, okay, this can help, and then this can help, and then this can like just kind of kept chipping away, and now we're boom in this
Yeah.
oversaturation of technology.
It's really crazy, guys. One other point that I want to bring up actually is how AI is affecting the job market.
That's a good one. That's a
Yes.
good one.
Are we for job replacement or job creation, guys?
Exactly.
That is the question of the day.
Not even that, but even when I know a lot of hiring
Recruiters,
there we go. A lot of recruiters they
a lot of recruiters
they use AI to see like, okay, like whose resume is whose, and a lot of people get flagged by like the system.
Yeah, which is crazy. And another one that I think also is because let's say looking at someone, let's say someone that's going into data analysis or software engineering. I've heard stories of AI literally being the recruiter, not even the recruiter, the interviewer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's AI. You're having a conversation with AI, but like, what happened to
like talking to a real person? Like,
yeah, talking to a real person, seeing what they actually want as but I get it also. There's so many people and they're trying to make their job easier, but we're depending on it too much.
We're depending on a tool that's still being developed, and that's the issue.
Exactly, it's still being developed.
Exactly, AI is for not forever, but for a really long time, it's gonna have to still be developed because AI has to learn off of human behavior.
Exactly.
So if we keep using a tool that's not fully all the way there, you're missing out on a lot of people, on a lot of resumes, on a lot of just things that you could accomplish if you just use a regular person.
And think about it, AI is literally relies on human knowledge. So it's not just a machine that's grabbing information out of thin air. This is a machine that's grabbing information from human inputs.
Exactly.
So if a human can build a machine like this to help other people, then imagine how much you could do when you actually put your mind to it.
Exactly.
So don't disregard your minds, guys. It's very important.
The mind is the most powerful,
exactly.
most powerful tool in the body.
So make sure to utilize it.
I agree, and I hope you all really kind of took some points, and if you all have your own points, you can speak about them in the comments, speak about them wherever you so please, because this is just an increasing thing that's going to keep going on, unfortunately. Exactly. But we have to learn how to just kind of move with it.
Right. And as a society, we have to think, as technology continues to evolve, we have to understand that the responsibility of how it is used depends on us as the people, whether to use it, as a tool for growth or as a tool for doom.
Literally, so, that's literally what it is.
Yeah, guys. So let's do a better job.
We do. Well, we also got to do a better job, but we also have to advocate for ourselves too, and just tell our government leaders, like, hey, we don't want that data center there. Like, as we kind of been doing, we don't want that data center there. We don't want this. We don't want that. We have to keep advocating, unfortunately, for ourselves.
True.
But we hope you all enjoyed this little ChatGPT AI discussion. It was pretty fun.
Very interesting.
It was, and I liked a lot of points that we spoke about. And I hope you guys did as well.
Enjoyed it too, yeah.
And that's all we really got to say. You got anything else to say, Priscilla?
No.
All right.
Make sure you guys are using your brains.
Yeah, use your brains, y'all, please. And if you do use AI, like we're not scrutinizing you guys.
No, because it's a tool.
I'm not saying
it's a tool.
So
just watch how you use it.
Just be careful.
Yes.
But we hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, guys. Bye.